France, the talking point, Dupont. And the mask or the injury. You know, if you look at it, it's 87% success rate when he starts, wins.
That's a proper record.
Yeah.
And how many...
Can the Boks kill the fairy tale?
I think they can.
In the fairy tale?
I definitely think they can. I think what eventually will happen, I think he will participate in the playoffs. I think he'll play in the playoffs, Dupont.
Yeah. Dupont or Dupont?
Well, now suddenly you're fluent at French.
No, Dupont.
Dupont.
That's the name. Dupont.
Dupont. I think he'll play, but I think we can still beat them.
Yeah.
Whether he plays or not. Sometimes you rely so much on a player, and then when he eventually comes back, then you think, okay, well, he's going to win it for us. That's never the case. And conversely, if he's not there, they actually up their game a little bit.
The only question mark I've got around this French team is when last do they tour South Africa or New Zealand? They've got a good record. They've done well. But it's all up here.
Well, when was it? 2017 that they toured South Africa? I think it was 2017, yes. Correct.
And we won,
and
I think
we
one
won the series. One in Durban. Was it one in...
When last did they tour New Zealand?
I don't know.
I think the difference also is that this island team has developed a hard edge through being on the road together. The series when, they've gone Six Nations. There's a level of consistency. I'm not sure this French, because when you tour also, Dupont might get injured. You give someone else a chance. He has to, in a tough test match series. I just wonder, all their victories, all their success has been at home. Obviously, the World Cup is at home, but it's a different beast. It's a different pressure.
Yeah.
And whether they can handle that or not.
I had questions on their squad prior to the tournament starting. So, starting 15, really good. I had question marks on who they replace when they get injuries. But after that first game against New Zealand, without Dante, without Intermac, without Marchand, without Willems,
those are big names.
That's big names, losses, and a proper performance. Well, not a great performance in terms of style and the game itself, but to be able to beat the All Blacks in a pressure cooker like that, opening game of the World Cup, that takes a bit of mental edge, and they were able to do that. If you lose Intermac and Dupont
and Marchand and Willems,
yeah, I don't know. They've ticked the boxes previously. With this one, it's a bit different. But then again, like I said, he'll probably be playing in the playoffs.
Have you ever broken a cheekbone?
Never a cheekbone. Broke my jaw twice though.
Was that the Tupoki punch?
No, it wasn't.
What? How bad is it? I've never.
No, so
I've eye socket. What's it? Burst an eye socket.
Yeah.
That wasn't. I only knew the next day, to be honest with you, because I was trying to blow my nose and my eye almost popped out.
Really?
I was in hospital the next day.
When are they going to fix it?
No, it's fixed.
Is it?
It's fixed. Okay, broken jaw. Okay,
no, so I broke my jaw in the World Cup 2015.
Yeah.
Against Samoa. Next day I retired from international rugby.
But it didn't help you lose weight though.
Yeah, but no, it did. It did. So what was it? 7 weeks prior to that, I also broke it, but just on the one side against Argentina.
Yeah.
Didn't have an ARP and was able to play again. But then the following week, play one game, and then the following week against Samoa broke it again, and then broke it both sides. So I think they definitely. Well, I can't say definitely. I'm not a doctor, but I think there will be risk that if he plays, and obviously he doesn't have a cheekbone, a jaw. He's got a cheekbone. It is different, but there must be risk that you re-injure it, because at the end of the day, it's bone, and it takes time to heal.
It always reminds me of the same way we were trying to get Sia ready for this competition, and he's playing well.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's an amazing, for what he's done coming through that injury and the kind of rugby he's playing now. Yeah. It's next level. Talking about knees, how's that knee looking of yours?
No, it's loose. It's loose.
Show us your body trick.
No, I can't. You can't do that on here.
How?
Mike's in the way, yeah.
Let's just see. This is called sacrifice.
There we go.
Can see the knee pops. Okay, stop now, John. You're going to make me vomit.
Take it off and put it next to me.
The Wallabies.
Yeah.
Worst World Cup performance ever. It's just been a downward spiral. I personally find it quite sad to see. Look, obviously Eddie came out.
But sad, as in like cry sad, or?
Oh no,
like
sad as in. I mean, they're World Cup winners.
Yeah.
Australia, the Wallabies
Twice.
we grew up watching.
Yeah.
You know, we know Griggs has been on shows with us, Larkham. Daniel Herbert, Timmy Horan, Joe
John
Rolfe,
Eales.
John Eales,
Nick Farr-Jones.
Yeah. You can go, and the list goes
Willie
on.
Offengai.
Exactly. The list goes. Give me one more. Give me one. Andrew Walker.
Tim Horan. Jason
Exa-
Little. Michael Lana.
But it goes on and on. Now, for them to get knocked out of a World Cup, and also, let me talk about, okay, they knocked out the World Cup, but the performance, John.
Yeah.
The performance.
It's again, you look at Australian rugby and you think of Australian rugby and you think of the glory days.
Yeah.
You think of that team, 91. You think of 99. You think of, you think of Griggs tackling Jeff Wilson in a Bledisloe game and dislodging the ball. And, I just think it's a very different Australia now. What was the stat that we got yesterday? Since 2015, 38% win record, Australia.
So this has been coming a long time.
So it's not something that, where you say, okay, we've got the players, we've been successful, Eddie Jones will come in and he'll win us a World Cup. I think it was a bit of a punt that Eddie took to say, okay, I'm going to, we're going to talk the talk, but they're not able to walk the walk. I don't know if he's got the resources to walk, to do that, and maybe
to walk the talk.
To walk the talk, to talk the walk, whatever you want to do. It's look, you in it, you enjoy it when you're winning, and as a coach you get celebrated, and Eddie's certainly been very successful at times. I mean, you need to take this on the chin as well. It is a young side, it is an inexperienced side. And individual and collective performance has just been extremely poor.
Also, an organizational issue, I think. We've been there. We've been there in South African rugby also. When we've been low, I mean, you look at when we got 50 or 60 from New Zealand. We've had some dark times. I think since this new regime came in, it's actually looked good. You look at the performance of the Springboks. There was a stage where I think the Springboks were number one, the Sevens was number one. Our juniors were doing well. It's the whole system that carries the national team, not just one individual. And I just think from an Australian point of view, you got to be wary of it. Everybody thought Eddie Jones was the hero.
Yeah.
The organisation, Irish rugby is not as well. Obviously, there's a contributing factors. Farrell's done well. They've had, I think it was a Joe Schmidt before that. But this has been a build-up, academy systems, all of that. Australia have missed a trick here, and they can fix it, I think.
Yeah, it's like any organisation in that you go through cycles. Yeah. And I think luckily for us as South Africa, we normally go through the down cycles in between World Cups. Maybe, maybe one World Cup where we did poorly, but still, you made the playoffs every single time. To perform like that in a World Cup where you don't have an extremely difficult road to the playoffs and still not make it through. It's a dream
draw.
Yeah.
It's a dream draw.
That I think is a disappointing thing. So, he's got the long-term vision. Whether he will be there or not, that's the question now. So if you're saying you're building and then you bail, a couple of months after you started, that'll be disappointing.
Do you think he'll leave?
I don't know.
I mean, there's rumours of Japan.
You
negotiate. I think it's been denied though. I think Phil Waugh said it's rubbish. The CEO. Do you think he'll leave?
So the thing is, if you're promising a long-term view and you select the long-term view and then you
put a young team and then you got to stick.
That'll be disappointing, but
it's professional
it's a job,
sports,
eh? Yeah, it's a job.
Bernard Foley also tweeted it didn't have to be like this, and the backstory to that is Bernard Foley could have been there, Quade Cooper could have been there, Hooper could have been there,
James O'Connor maybe.
Just
from experience.
So you've got the experience there. You got a bit of experience. Now you went with this youth thing. Is it? Do you develop youth in a World Cup? Or do you say, listen, pick the team that's going to win, the rest we'll deal with later? You don't develop in World Cups.
But have you come across a coach that selected a team not thinking that they could win?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, that's what he thought would be the right thing. So success is kind of determined and viewed in a different way as well. We don't know what success looks like for them. And what they're working towards, but certainly in terms of this campaign and a Rugby World Cup being such a big moment in any rugby player's life, disappointing. And from a viewer and a fan point of view.
It's the big. Remember last year, Bledisloe Cup game. Australia just won a penalty to kick into touch. Yeah, they would have won the Bledisloe Cup. Am I right? For the first time in 19 or 20 years.
And Reynal blew them.
Reynal changed it around. I still wonder if they had won that Bledisloe Cup, if Dave Rennie would have been there. If we still would have been coached. Because, you look at it now and you think, gee, the results he was getting, they were the nearly team. You know, that team loses between 3 and 7 points every game. And it just needed something just to take over. And I always thought that this would be the World Cup that it takes over, especially with the draw.
Ifs and buts.
Ifs and buts.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't happen.